I'm only been giving people a 1 minute time signal at the end.
Oh, okay. So many of you love Christmas time when holidays are coming in, right? And there are times when, well, at least in my personal experience, my family doesn't really get together unless it's a big holiday like Christmas or New Year's. I remember back in 2007, it was especially a great, in the beginning, it was a great Christmas because all of our family was together. My grandmother had came from Mexico. I had my uncles and my cousins who I hadn't seen in years. They came by, and we were all gathered together. I also remember that my cousin was actually going to deliver a baby that same night. So we were very anxious to know, when the baby was going to be born and everything. And my cousin, who was her husband, was actually coming back from war that same. Well, he was coming back from the airport that same night. Unfortunately, we had a call a little bit after midnight, and they told us that he was in the hospital. We thought it was because he went to go see his wife and his baby being delivered, but that wasn't the case. He passed away a few hours later because of a person who was text driving. This is very unfortunate because I could hear stories about people dying because of drunk drivers, but texting it's the same, and it's really, really bad. I know from personal experience having a loss like that, and my cousin not being able to even see his only son that was going to be born that same night, and a hero coming back, dying in that situation was just horrible. How many times have you received a text message while driving, or have been sitting in the passenger seat while your friend is driving? And sometimes we feel the need to, reply to a text message or even look at it. And the worst part sometimes is when you're the one that's responsible, yet when you're sitting next to your friend that's driving and pulls out their phone and tries to even look at it or reply back. I think that's a very irresponsible thing to do. However, I do think that we are humans and we do tend to have these tendencies. I personally haven't reply to a text message because I'm horrible at multitasking while driving. I can barely hold a cup and drink it while driving. But I do remember one time I tried changing a song on an iPod and I swerved a little bit. Now imagine if I had tried to even text someone back. It would have been a disaster. I would have crashed or something would have happened. Replying to text messages while driving is not a good idea. In fact, it's very deadly. It can cause terrible accidents. And I personally have researched articles, statistics, and stories that are associated with texting and driving. And I have also shared a personal story. Did you know that 8 out of 10 drivers vote and agree with cell phone restrictions? Ironically, most of them violate these same restrictions that they voted for in some way at one point or another. The main point is that although one may think that replying to a text message at a moment is important, it really isn't. It's ridiculous how one can make the decision to do that when you look at the big picture. Today I will be sharing with you the issues, risks, and statistics pertaining to cell phone text messaging and driving, and the laws that have been made to restrain cell phones while driving. Texting and driving have become deadly concern in today's world. This is not a concern for those who are obviously texting and driving, but for those who are out on the road, who are innocent people who are just going about their way of driving responsibly, and also for those families of the victims. Distracted driving has become one of the leading causes in America, according to peer-reviewed research. It appears that people cannot get to work or go to school without, using their phone, whether it's a phone call or a text message. Despite the fact that the states across the country have banned texting and cell phone use, while driving, millions of people are still managing to be able to do that. Most people feel that they can, drive and manage and look at a cell phone. Even just looking at a cell phone, I mean, imagine you dropping your coffee and just looking down like it caused an accident. Now, why would you put your life and other people's lives at risk to just look at a text message that you can obviously look at later and think about it. If it's an emergency, somebody will call you. And not only will they call you once, they'll call you plenty of times. If it's an emergency, it is there's no way that someone's going to text you it's an emergency. You can wait for that, honestly. But pretend that you're driving and you're texting, and for one moment you see that the road, the person in front of you, you're driving, but from the next one moment to other, you get the cell phone, you text, and the person in front of you has slowed down because I don't know what it's called, but when you're driving and there's cones, right, and then you have to swerve to the other lane. If you were texting, you wouldn't be able to see that. Therefore, you would get in an accident, and it just took a few moments for that to happen. Imagine there's people working on the street. They were just going about their day and doing their job while you were too busy texting about what's going on in school or the latest gossip. Cell phone companies have changed the way they do business, and because of texting, cell phone companies are, making billions of dollars because of it. And instead of texting has actually been required for unlimited instead of calling. People used to call all the time, and that was the essential thing. Or it's unlimited calling, but now everybody wants unlimited texting instead of calling. There's also been an necessity with the people who create cell phones and designers, because they're trying to create the faster, better way for texters to text. I don't know if you noticed, after those little phones that you had to text with just one hand. After that came the keyboard, the little sidekick, there you go. So, and then it became the touch, bigger screen, so that you can, type it. That has also created a bigger market for them. Texting has definitely become a necessity, especially for those of the younger generation. Teenagers feel the need that they have to constantly text. While texting is a wonderful luxury, it has also become a great danger to those who have been harmed by it. Because of the great frequency of texting, people feel that they constantly have to text and send messages at all given times. Many people believe that sending a text message while driving is harmless. However, this is the furthest thing from the truth. While driving and texting is deadly, there are many reasons why this is. Texting is distracting. It can make a driver lose control at about 3 seconds. Making the driver take his eyes off the road, thus the possibility of accidents arises. Every second that a driver takes his eyes off the road, he or she will lose 3 things. First, you can lose, by trying to grab your cell phone, you can lose concentration. You can lose your hand movements while you're driving. You will also lose concentration in your eyesight. Well, not your eyesight, but you'll lose sight of what's going on. Furthermore, because of the majority of texting is done by teenagers between the ages of 16 and 18, the texting combined with their lack of experience while driving makes the dangerous combination, makes for one dangerous combination. A survey from Nationwide Mutual Insurance states that 25 to 50% of their accidents are done between the ages of 16 and 18, and they actually admit that they've been texting and driving. And another statement from AAA Insurance done in 17 magazine say that ages 18 through 27, that 37% of them agree that they were texting while driving as well. In order to protect the well-being of society, I believe that it just takes at least one person in a car to tell another person if they're driving. Hey, you can text that later, or you can even just, if your friend is so desperate to answer that text message, you can tell them, I can read it for you. And you can tell it to them. Maybe you can reply back for them if they feel that that's exactly what they need to do. Or if you're the one that's driving, then you should be, we're over 18, we obviously are adults, and we should know that our responsibility of driving is to drive, right? You shouldn't be texting, you shouldn't be doing anything else, doing your makeup while driving, or such things. You can make a difference, and you can